Hello there! I'm back with another video. Again, continuing with my very irregular posting schedule. I am recording this on a Friday. I don't know if I'll get to post it this Friday, but I did used to, if you recall, post all my videos on Fridays. Way back when, 1,000 years ago, over last summer. So, it's been a really hectic 2018 for me. It feels like I have had no breaks ever since the year started. It's just been go. Right after Christmas break, I had to jump into finals because my college had a strike in the middle of November, so the semester was pushed back into the next year. So I had my Christmas break right before finals, and I had finals right after Christmas break. So it was just, and then I had no break in between terms. And then we had a spring break in which I took a vacation to England. And right after I got back from my spring break, there was midterm projects. Yay! So then after finishing the week of midterm projects, it was a nightmare. It was so stressful. I had so much to do. My friends and I were ripping our hair out. But we survived. I think I did fairly well, but I'm not sure at this point. I really don't care. I'm just glad it's over. But then now they're starting to gear us up for all of our final projects, because there's about a month and a couple of weeks left of school. So in my program, since I'm doing advertising, we don't have exams so much as we have just projects. So, make a marketing plan, or let's make a documentary, or make an ad campaign, that kind of a thing. And it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of kind of creative energy. Like I was stressing this weekend over this one assignment where I had to come up with concepts for a Mother's Day ad for a place that sells swanky cookingware. Anyway, I decided to take a weekend for myself. I finished that one project. I sent it to friends for them to proofread the grammar, because this professor's very anal about grammar. And then I just started to paint a lot. So this character's name's Tabellion. I think that's how you pronounce his name. In my head, I say it like how you pronounce it in Spanish, like Tabellion. But I don't know how I would say it in English. So let's just hope that Tabellion sounds correct. And Tabellion belongs to my friend PRISMkidd. We have kind of this gift war that's never ending. We attack each other with gifts as often as we can, depending on how busy we are. It's either really often or not that often. I haven't really been able to uphold my side of the war lately, but at the same time, Kid's in the middle of moving. So I decided to draw this for Kid because I got a gift from Kid recently, and then also Kid's moving, so here, have a gift. And yeah, Tabellion is one of Kid's older characters, and I decided to draw him because, first of all, there's an old reference that's pretty accurate that I can follow, and on top of that, Kid sketched him recently and sent it to the group. Let it be known that if you send me sketches, I will use them as ammunition for when I attack you with my gifts. And so I wanted to be I wasn't trying to be ambitious, that's the thing. I wanted it to be originally just like a bust with the hat and the face and focus on the expression, but I'm like, let's just add a hand and then expand the canvas, and let's just add some abs and expand the canvas, and let's just add the other hand, and then it ended up looking like this, which was, it was more than I originally imagined, but I'm still really happy with it. I'm really, really happy with it. It took me around 2 hours and 45 minutes, according to the raw video footage of this, to paint it. I took a break in between because doing the color masks kind of just completely killed my eyes, and I needed some tea. I got some new herbal tea from David's Tea recently. It's called Throat Rescue. If you like herbal tea that's sweet, I really recommend it if you're in Canada and you have access to David's Tea. So yeah, I really like it. And yeah, it was just, I wanted to do kind of a heavily overpainted kind of illustration, because all of my gifts to Kid recently have been traditional things I've sent in the mail, but since Kid's moving, he's going to be changing addresses, so I can't send him something in the mail, and I decided to do something digital, and also I really enjoyed doing digital things lately. I've been working, I don't know if you follow me on DeviantArt. If you don't, follow me on Instagram. Instagram's better, actually. I've been doing concept art for Dark Petal 16 for her original novel, and yeah, it's been digital. It's been a lot of fun. I'm putting a lot of work. I'm just not recording it because I take a lot of breaks while I'm working on it. It's a lot of details. It's a lot of emailing back and forth and making sure I'm getting things correct, so it's not really conducive to the way I record videos. I tend to record in one sitting, maybe split in half, but that half is just like 20 minutes, but this takes me like at least a week per piece. But yeah, just follow my Instagram and see when I post them. Anyway, I've been getting really back into digital. I really miss digital art. I finished my original sketchbook that I got in the beginning of the year, but I finished it kind of rushed because the paper was horrible. I just wanted to get rid of it, but when I decided that yes, I can't deal with this paper, I'd already done like 30 or 40 sketches in it, and I'm like, I don't want to just let this sketchbook die a horrible death. So I decided to finish it. But how did I finish it? I finished it by doing like one gesture drawing per page, and then it got finished in no time. It's kind of fun. It was kind of fun. But yeah, so since I finished that piece of garbage, I bought a new sketchbook, and that sketchbook has like literally 5 pages used, and I've had it for like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, I don't even know anymore. I started it in the beginning of March. Yeah, so I've had it for 16 days, like 2.5 weeks, and I've gotten 5 pages done just because it's so busy. But I've been doing digital drawing, so it's alright. I don't feel guilty. I promise I don't feel guilty. I do feel a bit guilty. I'm not sketching enough, but alright. So Tabellion here, he's a very interesting character. Like wrapped around his throat are vocal cords that I think he took from other people. Wrapped around his hat is a lower intestine that was also graciously donated by an anonymous someone. And then also this is it's kind of an old OC, but it's still an OC belonging to PRISMkidd, so therefore rainbows. Yes, rainbows. I always love drawing kids' characters just because I get to experiment with my colours. It was from drawing kids' characters that I got into this style that I had for a while. It was a painting style. We called it the Candy colours. Yes, my name's Candy. It was a pun, but it was also kind of descriptive that I used to. I didn't really do my shading based on lighting. I did my shading based on what makes this colour pop the most. So if it was green, I'd shade it blue. If it was blue, I'd shade it purple. If it was red, I'd also shade it purple. If it was yellow, I'd shade it a very intense orange. If it was pink, I'd shade it a very intense red, that kind of thing. So it made sort of all my colours really vibrant. And I'd also do the highlights in the same manner, like anything I could to make something really vibrant and like really contrasty too. So that was the way I painted for a while, and it kind of started when I did one drawing of Tabellion back in 2015, it ought to be 2015. Yeah, I'm quite sure it's 2015. I'll sandwich it here in the edit so you can see a hell of improvement, right? And yeah, so yeah, I started the whole candy colours thing with Tabellion, and then now I'm doing a lot more kind of, it's not that they're desaturated, it's more like harmonious, because I always end up sticking a kind of gradient in the background before I start shading so that I can follow the way that so I did pink highlights. You can't really see the pink because most of Tabellion's colours are quite light here, so yeah, pinkish highlights and blue-greenish shadows, and it doesn't really kind of affect it that much because Tabellion tends to have a lot of green and blue in him anyway, and yeah, the colours are light, so the pink highlights don't stand out that much. But in places, for example, in the pinks and in the intestines in specific, you can kind of see that the shadows are kind of desaturated, and that's on purpose. Because, yeah, and also in the rainbow, I shaded it all on a multiply layer, and then I made it more saturated on the blue, green, and purple, which are cool colours. And so if you shade a cool colour with a cool colour, it'll be brighter. And if you shade a warm colour with a cool colour, it'll be desaturated. And then here I started overpainting. Originally, I wanted to overpaint every single little bit of this, but then I decided that it wasn't going to just make that much of a difference, and I was quite happy with how it looked anyway. So when you zoom out, you can't see the sketchy-ish lines. I kind of took care of the worst offenders and like a really quick overview, but like right now I'm like really zoomed in, really detailed, going over every single line a million times, and yeah, that wasn't gonna fly if I was gonna do the whole thing. But the face is kind of important, and yeah, so I overpainted that one that way. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit distracted. My phone's blowing up with my classmates asking for advice on an assignment. And I'm going to finish this voiceover. I have confidence in me. So, yeah, I really wanted to overpaint everything very detailed, but it was like 1 a.m, and I wasn't really kind of into it that much. I was like having to backtrack and like go back forward because I don't know, I wasn't go in the flow anymore, but I'm still kind of happy with the end result. I also really like the first time I drew Tabellion. If you want, I'll put the old one back on the screen again. I did a really gooey kind of thing on the intestines, which Kid found like really awesome when I showed it to him. It was one of the things that Kid said that was the coolest in the whole illustration. So I kind of and it was also a way to make the intestines pop from the top part of the composition, because the intestines are sort of the same pink as the gradient, which I did sort of make it on purpose, but at the same time you can't hide. So white stuff to make it gooey, and then also the little drippy bits. I think I like the way I did the drippy bits in this one better than I did in the old one, because in the old one I tried to make them little droplets, so I made them little shaped like little C's with a hook on them, like little hooks kind of, and here I just did lines. But yeah, this is the whole thing. I hope you liked it. I'll see you when I get back with another video, and thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Bye.